Wealthing Like Rabbits, Chapter 2, Rabbits, Zombies, and RRSPs. 1,771,561. That's assuming one Tribble multiplying with an average letter of 10, producing a new generation every 12 hours over a period of 3 days. Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, in Star Trek. Imagine you're on a great big island, and for the sake of this story, further imagine that there are absolutely no rabbits at all living on this great big island. None. Not one. Now imagine that some farmer decides it'd be fun to go hunting rabbits on his farm on this great big island. So he obtains 24 rabbits from a distant and foreign land and releases them onto his farm on this great big island. The rabbits then proceed to do what rabbits do best every chance they get. Here's my question. Approximately how many rabbits do you think would be on that great big island after about 60 years? It may seem a little strange to suggest that one of the keys to achieving financial comfort today is to start preparing for retirement, an event which is perhaps 35 to 40 years away. However, one thing we need to agree upon is that we need to save. The only thing I can guarantee with absolute certainty about your life 40 years from now is that you are either going to be 40 years older or dead. And I think we can all agree on which of these choices is best. Yet many Canadians are not saving enough for their retirements, if they're saving at all. Too many people will be relying solely on their Canada Pension Plan, CPP, the Quebec Pension Plan, QPP, or Old Age Security, OAS, in their golden years. Perhaps they feel that the income those plans provide will be enough to adequately fund their retirements. It won't. Those programs are not designed to provide enough income for Canadians to enjoy a retirement lifestyle that is anywhere near the lifestyle they lived while they were working. They are there to supplement your retirement savings, not to replace them. So, how much money will you need when you retire? That's a pretty good question. Entire books have been written in an effort to answer that question. Here's my enlightened answer. I honestly don't know. No one could know. I don't know when you're planning to retire. I don't know what you're planning to do once you retire. I don't know how old you'll be when you die. I don't know what the price of gas will be in 10 years, let alone in 40. I don't know if cars will be still using gas. I don't know what's going to happen with interest rates. I don't know if you'll need to take care of your parents. I don't know what the rate of inflation is going to be. I don't know about your long term health. I don't know if you want to play golf, do charitable work, or grow genetically engineered organic bean sprouts. I don't know, and don't know. I do know this, though. More is better. Less is not better. It is better to be 65 years old with $750,000 saved than it is to be 65 years old with $750 saved. It is better to tee off with your driver in January than it is to scrape ice off your driveway in January. It is better to be working part time at 68 because you choose to, rather than be working full time at 68 because you have to. More is better. Let's not worry about how much you'll have or how much you'll need because right now that is a little more than an exercise in guessing. There are simply too many unknowns involved. Instead, let's focus on having more than enough for whatever comes your way. One of the reasons that retirement planning needs to be on top of your financial to do list is because it's one of the easiest parts of the financial plan to implement. If you have an income, you can take the first step to a comfortable financial future in just a couple of hours. A properly set up retirement plan is not only easy to establish, but once it is done, it is also virtually maintenance free. A couple of hours every year will get the job done, no problem. Another reason people aren't saving enough for their retirements is because they tell themselves that they will do it later. They procrastinate. After all, retirement seems like it's just such a long way away when you're 26 years old. They say they'll start saving once they paid off their student loans, or they'll start once they bought a house. They'll start next year, or the year after that. There's a whole subgenre of financial planning books dedicated to the it's never too late to start saving for your retirement. I don't think it's hypocritical to wholeheartedly agree that it's never too late to start and at the same time recognize that math doesn't lie. When you start later, it is harder, much harder, and the results will be lesser, much lesser. Sorry, but it's true. Starting your retirement savings also needs to be at the top of the list because this part of your plan gets better with time, much better. Starting now rather than a couple of years from now can make a huge difference in how comfortable your retirement will be. Thousands, like tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars difference. A couple of chapters from now, we're going to discuss mortgages and how much of your money you will be screwed out of. I mean, have to pay if you spread out your mortgage over a long period of time. The amount of interest that you will pay over a longer amortization period is nothing short of shocking. But just as shocking is how the incredible power of compound interest will work for you if you are smart enough to give it enough time. Would you believe about 10 billion? Yes, you read that right. 10 billion rabbits. Amazing, isn't it? And even more amazing, it's a true story. Way back in 1957, Registered Retirement Savings Plans, or RSPs, were introduced in Canada by Finance Minister Walter Harris under Prime Minister Louis Saint Laurent. It may interest you to know that this financial innovation arrived with very little fanfare at the time. Instead, the country got all bent out of shape over a candy tax. 51 years later, in 2008, Finance Minister Jim Flaherty, under Prime Minister Stephen Harper, introduced the Tax-Free Savings Account, TFSA, to Canadians. If he had introduced a candy tax, at that time no one would have noticed because the entire planet was bent out of shape over a bunch of Wall Street banks nearly destroying the global economy that year. Times change. Both RRSPs and TFSAs are products that let you sock away a portion of your income and allow your money to grow tax-free for as long as it remains inside. Look at them like they are your own personal retirement vaults, where the power of time and compound interest works for you. They are both great products, but they work differently. So let's take a closer look at each of them. First, we have the Registered Retirement Savings Plan. Since their introductions, RRSPs have become the product of choice for most Canadians who are serious about savings for their futures. And for good reason. Not only does the money inside your RRSP grow tax-free while it is inside your vault, you also get a break on your income taxes every year you contribute the money. Any money you contribute to your RRSP is deducted from your taxable income, which means you end up paying less income tax that year. The more money you contribute to your RRSP, the less income tax you pay. Once inside the RRSP, your money grows tax-free through the incredible power of time and compound interest. You do not pay any income tax on either the principal contribution or the interest carried on your savings until you take the money out of your RRSP. You reduce your taxes today and save for your retirement at the same time. RRSPs are a truly great deal. Obviously, the Canada Revenue Agency, CRA, is only going to let you avoid, for more accurately, defer so much tax. To that end, there are limits on how much they will allow you to contribute to your RRSPs each year. You may not contribute more than 18% of the past year's income, less pension adjustment, up to the maximum amount which is adjusted each year. An easy way to find out how much you are allowed to contribute to your RRSP this year is to look at the notice of assessment that you received from the CRA after you filed your income taxes last year. It will show you your exact RRSP deduction limit. Your notice of assessment will also show any unused RRSP contribution room you have left over from the previous years. A tax-free savings account works differently than an RRSP. Any money that you put into a TFSA has already been taxed. In other words, you cannot use your TFSA to reduce your income taxes today. Just like your RSP, your money grows tax-free while it's inside your TFSA through the same power of time and compound interest. However, with a TFSA, you do not have to pay any tax when you take the money out. You save for your retirement now and reduce the retirement tax burden at the same time. TFSAs are a truly great deal.